Hey guys, what is going on? I'm going to be trying out something new here, which is basically just going to be me rambling on about something. So for this one, it's going to be the Swiss format pretty much, and adjustments that you've seen Star Series is making to their Season 4 league, but adjustments I would make to the system to hopefully make it more foolproof almost. I think there's too much random elements involved with the Swiss system at the moment. So I'm going to start off by addressing the Swiss system in a best of 3, which is what Star Series is going to do, as you can see here. And basically, it's going to be exactly the same as what we've just seen here in the preliminary stage and in the next stage of the major, except everything's going to be best of 3. And this is a step in the right direction if you're looking for a tournament that basically decides who's the best team in the world, because best of 3 is obviously going to help eliminate the best of 1 random element where anyone can really upset anyone in a best of 1. So that's a good step here. One thing to be concerned about here is hiring of talent and just stream time, I guess. So if you want people desk hosting this kind of event, you're going to maybe have 2 or 3, I'd say 2 at a minimum, probably preferably 3, even 4 maybe. 4 might be overkill, but yeah, you get what I mean. You're going to have that many desk hosts. You've seen Richard Lewis and Yanko have really been pushed to their limit just with a best of 1 set at the first section of the E-League Major, and you imagine it becomes a best of 3. This is going to be incredibly tiresome. Obviously, the tournament running from the 17th to the 25th, so that's just over a week. It should be 8 days. Let's have something up there. But yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one for any talent or any staff involved, really. Another thing is with stream times. So if you want this to be an entertaining event, so if you just want the best teams in the world, this is fine. Go full best of 3. You want to hire any talent, but if you want to be an entertaining, this could be a struggle. You'd maybe have to run 2 or 3 streams at once, so there'd be at least one game on that's entertaining, or have an A and a B stream, and have one game maybe even played off stream. As you can see in this Swiss system kind of formats, you're going to get games that no one really wants to watch. I mean, you get to this kind of 0 and 2 pool stage, and if you've dedicated a best of 3 to Flipside versus Vanguard, and this could definitely go to a best of 3. Flipside were not good to watch this tournament, and Vanguard, it turned out to be okay to watch, but I don't think it's a game many people would be interested in at the stage that this was played at, when it was the 0 and 2 pool. And if you're going to dedicate a full best of 3 to this, and it goes for full 3 maps, you're going to lose viewers. People aren't going to be interested. They're going to tune out from your stream, whereas it's just best of 1s. You can tick them over relatively fast. People maybe head off, get something to eat, come back when the next game's interesting. Whereas a best of 3, you almost, that's a lot of time lost. So if you're worried about that as a tournament organizer, having the maximum viewing numbers or something like that, this could cause a problem being the best of 3. But as far as deciding the best team in the world, I have no problem with the full best of 3. Now, I wish I hadn't closed that tab because I still need it. But so moving on to what I would adjust about the Swiss system. So I like this initial setup. I'm not talking about the major seeding system with the legends or whatever. I'm not going to talk about that in this one, but I think that does need tweaking, definitely. But I like the fact that you have 4 pools. So even if you just get a group of talent in and they just rate pool 1 to 16, you got pool 1, 2, 3, 4. Pool 1 gets drawn against pool 4, 2 against 3, as we've already seen. In Richard Lewis got up and do it this recently. They chuck the things on the board and it becomes a little bit random. And I like this system. I like the little bit of randomness. I think that is what the Swiss system is. So I'm not going to come along and go, bang, we're going to seed people 1 to 16, 1 plays 16, because I think that's not what the Swiss system's about. And I think you should implement a whole, I just have to call that a whole new system pretty much. So I like this initial thing, and I'm actually not going to change anything to start off with. So 0 and 1 pool and 1 and 0 pool, I'm going to leave it as it is. Just a fully random, whoever can play whoever, because I think at this stage of the tournament, it's not going to matter too much. And as I said, best of 3s or best of 1s up to this stage. Take your pick depending on what you want as a tournament organizer. Now here, I had a little bit of debate in my mind. I'm going to leave it as it is again. I think I'm actually changing anything. I am going to. And my reasoning behind this is if you go out 0 and 3, I think even if it is best of 1s, if you've lost to 3 teams in a row, you're probably not going to make a huge impact on the tournament anyway. So I'm not too concerned about you disappearing. Same with if you qualify 3 and 0. I think you've done a pretty good job, and I'm happy to have you in the finals, because if you beat 3 teams, even if you could maybe get a really easy draw, but it's very unlikely that you get 2 teams who are equally pretty bad getting to a 2-0 really lucky group stage all the way through. It's pretty hard. Obviously it could depend on who you're inviting to your event, but for an event of a decent tier, it probably hopefully shouldn't happen. So now this is where things change for me. When you get to the 2 and 1 pool and the 1 and 2 pool, so obviously you have 4 teams no longer playing. You have 2 that are qualified and 2 haven't qualified. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reseed these pools right here. And this is how I'm going to do it. So from the 2 and 1 pool, look over here. I've got Phase Mouse, Navi, Space, Liquid. Space, Liquid, and Vega. And they rank 1 to 6. This is just my own ranking. I haven't really put much thought into it, so if you disagree with it, I don't care. I haven't really put much thought into this. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to group them A, B, C. So I'm going to basically have pools within the pool. And basically how this is going to work out is you're going to have one, it's going to be a coin flip. So you either have FaZe or Mouse. So you can flip a coin, say FaZe come out and win it. So what happens is one team from each pool plays each other. So FaZe win the coin flip, so they get to play the team from Group C. You flip another coin to see which of these two teams they play. So say they probably flip, they win, and then they get Liquid. And then same goes, so Mouse Sports would flip a coin and get one team from Group B, and so on. And then the remaining two from B and C play each other. So it's going to end up something like this. So basically, as I said, FaZe can end up with Liquid, and then you got Mouse Sports versus Na'Vi, so that's an A and B, and then Space Soldiers and Vega are left for the B and C. And my goal behind this is obviously, again, I don't want to have it very structured 1 versus 6, 2 versus 5, because I think that's not what the Swiss system is about. And if you want to keep this kind of system, you want some kind of random element involved. But my goal with this is to prevent two teams you wouldn't expect going through, maybe qualifying. So if you jumble this up and then you end up with 5 and 6 by each other, Liquid obviously did go through, but they got lucky because 100 Thieves did go out, and they were playing with Zeus as well, so there was a bit of a disadvantage for them. So you get these two teams play each other in the 2-in-1 pool. Obviously Liquid are a big name, but if it's someone else, similar quality of Liquid with Zeus, you could have a bit of upset. You'd be like, oh, this is rubbish. But with my system, it's not possible. You could get 4 versus 5 or 4 versus 6. And yeah, I mean, that team might not be as deserving, but if they're at least above the bottom two in the 2-in-1 pool, I think they've got a better chance of having an impact in the finals. And same with it avoids FaZe and Mouse Sports playing each other, because I think they should have the best chance going through. You want the best teams to go through, but my biggest concern is this game here not happening and then pushing a team through. Same with over here, my biggest concern is not having this game play, because then I don't want one of my best two teams in the bottom pool possibly dropping out, as they could definitely qualify for the overall event. So basically my system here is to get rid of the extreme examples where the two top teams or the two bottom teams in a pool at this stage of the event play each other. Now, so obviously these come through and you see I've picked a winner for each, so Liquid, Mouse Sports, whatever, so that you'd have upsets. But at this same stage that I'm seeding these 1 to 6 in each pool, I'm also going to do an overall seeding, but it's going to be a little bit different. So if I do an overall seeding here, it's going to be the same, whoever's in this group, they're going to keep their seeding, but in this group over here, they're going to take the seed of the one higher, if that makes sense. I'm going to explain it in a second, so hopefully with the example it will make more sense. But so you'd have, pick the teams here, let's say Envious is in good form, this is just my example pretty much. So you're going to have FaZe number 1, Mouse Sports number 2, and then you might think, okay, Envy is better than Na'Vi. Let's just pretend this is Envy at top level form, RPK is going off, Happy's maybe hitting some shots or whatever. So I'm going to put Envy overall, they're going to be number 3. Envy overall, they're going to be our 3rd seed from the whole pool. And what happens now is, because they've drawn a QBF, I'm also going to give QBF this 3 seed. But obviously QBF have to win this game, otherwise they're out the tournament anyway, so it doesn't matter. My reasoning behind this is I don't want it to become you have to battle through just bosses after bosses to get through to the next stage. So I think it's unfair if QBF, this is just my take, they get Envy, so they've already got the hard draw because they're at the bottom here. They've gotten Envy. I mean, that's pretty hard. You're going to get knocked out almost certainly. You have less chance of upsetting them maybe if you verse someone like Renegades or a Vanguard. But then if they do beat Envy, I want them to keep their seed, because I think they've earned it. And if you can beat someone at this stage, sorry, I forgot to mention, this stage has to be a best of 3 for this to make any sense, because if this is a best of 1, this idea is ridiculous. If this is a best of 3, you beat Envy in a best of 3, I'm happy for you to take their seed, and you now get seed 3. So the winner's QBF, so then obviously Envy aren't even in the tournament anymore, so we can just go get rid of them. And then you'll see we seed throughout the whole tournament, so Woods lead, Na'Vi is number 3, Space Soldiers is 4, then we might say Misfits and Renegades, we reckon are better than, not 2, sorry, are better than Liquid, so we give them both 5 because they're playing each other. And then we'd go along, we'd give Liquid 6, Vega 7, and then we're going to give Vanguard and Sprout both 8. And then obviously, as you can see, he come through, so Vanguard get eliminated. They're not coming through at all. Renegades get eliminated. And then obviously, because the winners are Liquid, Mouse Sports, and Space Soldiers, they're gone as well because they've already qualified for the event. Sorry about that, my camera just shut off. So basically what we're going to continue is we end up with 6 teams left, and they're going to already be seeded, and they're going to end up as we serve in this pool here, and obviously you wouldn't put QBF as the second best team left, but because they were able to upset Envy, a team which was ranked first in their pool, and they managed to take their overall seed, move into a better spot where they actually would avoid in this situation playing FaZe if this exact scenario had played out. And basically I'm not reseeding this, as you can tell. If FaZe get upset by Liquid, I'm not going to then reseed them down to what Liquid were, because this could be unfair on someone who gets a nice upset here, where QBF get an upset and now they've been protected against versing FaZe. They might not now have to verse FaZe because they take Liquid's thing. It's a little bit of a wacky idea, but one that I think could potentially work out, and I'd like to see it tried. Probably won't, because who's going to listen to me? But we continue running it with these 6, and for this last section I'm just going to straight 1v6, 2v4, 3v4. I'm not going to leave anything to chance at this stage. This is 2 and 2. I don't really want this to become randomly up, and you have FaZe versus Na'Vi or something, 2 teams that I think definitely should go through. Obviously this is just an example, but I think with this reseeding system, hopefully we won't end up with too many bad teams here, and we definitely won't end up with a game where you think, oh, that's completely unfair. FaZe now have to play Sprout, but you think, well, Sprout just drew a really easy game. We already know they're not that great, so they got their easy game here. They only have to get 1 upset, and then QBF had to get their upset here, potentially a little bit of an easier upset than if they had to verse FaZe, but now they get a slightly easier game, but they still have to overcome someone else in the tournament. I mean, they might draw Sprout, and that would be unfortunate for the tournament overall, but I feel like they deserve that because they were to beat a team like Envious, who we are pretending, and they could have definitely been it as a higher up seed in this. And then we're just going to play 1 versus 6, as I said, and that's the last 3 teams that end up at the tournament. A little bit of a different idea, guys. Maybe a little bit complicated. Hopefully it wouldn't be too complicated. It makes sense to me, of course. But let me know what you think of this one. Let me know any flaws you see, because I'm sure you guys will come up with some. I think there's flaws in all systems, so I'm interested to see what you guys think. I have some of my own, but I don't want this video to be too long. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in my next video.